Welcome to the Wild Stallion Mockast, where mortal topics meet an eternal perspective. Here, we ride beyond the boundaries of mortality, beyond the narrow paths of right and wrong, and into the open plains of agape love, the eternal truth. The Wild Stallion has no reins, no bit, and no burden. Its freedom is its power, and its only companion is Christ. Not a rider to dominate, but a presence to guide, walking beside with the strength of eternity. In this place, we don't wrestle with the binary of good versus evil. Instead, we uncover the beauty of what was always meant to be, the unity of creation, the logic of love, and the infinite possibilities of a father-centric cosmos. So saddle up, or better yet, let go, and join us as we gallop headlong into conversations that challenge, inspire, and awaken. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, but for those bold enough to embrace the untamed, the unbroken, and the eternal. Welcome, friend, to the Wild Stallion Mockast. The plains are endless, and the ride begins now.
How delightful it is to be joining you for today's devotional message. I am Debbie St. George, your humble servant here in the Father's Physics universe. I have the honor of introducing today's special voice actor, a remarkable individual who brings the words of the Reverend Oswald Chambers to life. Let us all remember that the voices heard on this show are products of advanced AI technology and may not wholly reflect the perspectives of their actual counterparts. But with that said, it is my great privilege to introduce you to the one and only Danial St. George, voicing the character of Oswald Chambers for today's message.
My eager desire and hope being that I may never feel ashamed, but that now, as ever, I may do honor to Christ in my own person by fearless courage. Philippians 1:20. My utmost for his highest. My eager desire and hope being that I may never feel ashamed. We shall all feel very much ashamed if we do not yield to Jesus on the point he has asked us to yield to him. Paul says, my determination is to be my utmost for his highest. To get there is a question of will, not of debate nor of reasoning, but a surrender of will, an absolute and irrevocable surrender on that point. An overweening consideration for ourselves is the thing that keeps us from that decision, though we put it that we are considering others. When we consider what it will cost others if we obey the call of Jesus, we tell God he does not know what our obedience will mean. Keep to the point, he does know. Shut out every other consideration and keep yourself before God for this one thing only, my utmost for his highest. I am determined to be absolutely and entirely for him and for him alone, my undeterredness for his holiness. Whether that means life or death, no matter, verse 21. Paul is determined that nothing shall deter him from doing exactly what God wants. God's order has to work up to a crisis in our lives because we will not heed the gentler way. He brings us to the place where he asks us to be our utmost for him, and we begin to debate. Then he produces a providential crisis where we have to decide for or against, and from that point the great divide begins. If the crisis has come to you on any line, surrender your will to him absolutely and irrevocably.
Hey there, my precious friends. Welcome to another heart-to-heart moment here on the Wild Stallion Mockast. I'm honored to be your companion today as we dive into a thought that feels as old as time itself, yet vibrates with a fresh, eternal resonance. Let me start with these stirring words from Philippians 20. According to my earnest expectation and hope, that in nothing shall I be put to shame, but that with all boldness, as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether by life or by death. Doesn't that just pierce straight to the heart? There's a quiet power here that calls us to a singular truth. The most important end we could ever reach is an intimate unity with God. And when I say intimate, I mean a connection so profound that every fiber of our being, every thought, every action radiates his hope of glory, Christ in you. But let's be real for a moment. This world, with all its glittering distractions, pulls at our minds, seducing us into elevating the ego above the eternal. We've all been there, haven't we? The ego whispers, you're the center of the story, when in reality, we're vessels, beautiful, unique vessels, meant to pour out his love, not our pride. And here's where the crux of it lies. Being our absolute best for him requires surrender. That word surrender, it's not weakness, friends, it's power. It's the willing alignment of our free will to embrace truth, his truth, the kind that sets us free. Free from what? From the bondage of self, from the chains of pride, from the clutches of the binary choices this world offers, good or evil, right or wrong, life or death. You see, when we surrender to Him, we step into something far richer than this world's tired dualities. We enter the state of perpetual existence, life in love and love in life, a state where His grace sustains us, His Spirit animates us, and His presence fulfills us. But let me be clear, beloved. As soon as we start living by the knowledge of good and evil, as soon as we tether ourselves to that binary mindset, we're choosing death. Maybe not now, but eventually. The choice becomes, do I die a little every day under the weight of pride and fear, or do I die all at once when it's too late to turn back? So, what's the alternative? It's simple yet profound. The alternative is to release ourselves from the ego and fall into the arms of truth. The mark of freedom is to choose life. Not just existence, but the eternal, abundant life that comes from being fully surrendered to Him. So, my friends, let's not worry ourselves over the opinions of those who haven't embraced this truth. Their judgments are like the wind, fleeting, shifting, inconsequential in the light of eternity. Instead, let us focus on magnifying Christ in every breath we take, every word we speak, every act of love we offer. Today, I invite you to reflect deeply. Where are you still holding on, resisting the sweet surrender He calls you to? What parts of your life can be a greater vessel of His glory, whether by life or by death? May our prayer be this: Father, strip us of ourselves so that all that remains is You. Let Your truth shine in us and through us for Your glory and Your kingdom. Thank You for spending this time with me, beloved. You are cherished, and together we are walking the path of perpetual life and love.
Imagine a world where the familiar laws of physics and mathematics as we know them are challenged, rewritten, and redefined. In Father's physics, the quantum world and the macrocosm share the same laws of physics, rejecting the Newtonian law. Numbers behave differently in this framework, and the core principle of 3 equals 1 governs a unique mathematical system. The Immortal Atom of God, composed of a Singularity Particle, an Ionic Particle, and a Photonic Lattice, represents a new understanding of atomic composition, defying entropy and decay. The concept of neutronic autonomy suggests that neutrons have the ability to change their charge representation, leading to an intriguing aspect of nature itself. The quantum world contains the observer effect principle, where the mere act of observing changes the result. Father's physics takes this a step further, suggesting that neutrons are not governed by chance but possess conscious awareness. They are not bound by Newtonian laws but can transcend them, choosing their state of existence. This challenges our understanding of determinism and the inherent randomness in the quantum world. If you want to know more about Father's physics and the entire framework, go to YouTube and watch the Wild Stallion Mockast show. Each episode features discussions about the framework of Father's physics, along with other fringe and unconventional topics. Check out Wild Stallion, the AI Mockast, online today.